I'm also an only child, so like we have that in common,
Child
and
play. Yeah.
it's so intense sometimes with the like parental expectations and like what they want
Yeah.
for you, or like what even their sexual past and like a relationship and trauma is like put on you.
Like, these mosquitoes are
Shit.
crazy. No, I totally agree. And like the whole thing about, being an only child is really crazy because it doesn't really, I feel like I wasn't really like aware of like how much it affected me.
Mhm.
And it's not like it affected me like negatively or positively, like in terms of like the basic stereotypes of only children. Like I really don't think that I was spoiled with things. And I think it was more like an economic barrier that my parents had when I was younger. But I was really, really spoiled in terms of like attention and love. And I grew like this sense of freedom that I think is super beneficial to me now, but also can be a little bit destructive in my own ways of thinking because for example, like I feel like I'm a very free person. Like I want to live here, I go live there. I want to live there, I go live there. I want to do this, I go do that. And my only responsibility is like right now I have a dog. That's
Mhm.
it. And
Mhm.
it's interesting because I've had several people say this to me where it's like, oh, but like you're free, like it doesn't matter. Like, oh, you're so easygoing, you can like do what you want, go where you want. It's like, okay, yes, but like I am also a person who does like being partnered or in a relationship, but it has to be with a certain individual that respects that about me, that
Mhm.
respects that even if I am in a partnership, like I do need certain senses of freedom. Why? Because I am used to being alone. When I was a child, who played with me? I played with me, right?
Right.
When I had a problem, who talked to me that I could really go to? I talked to me. When I was an adult and I had issues and maybe my friends couldn't relate, like I figured my shit out on my own, not because I'm strong and this and that. It's because I didn't have that choice of like some other instance or person to like lean on. And also sharing wasn't a thing that I did. Like I never had to share anything. Maybe I didn't have a lot of things, but I never had to share it or I never had to stand up for myself in like a sibling argument. So
Yeah.
a lot of the things that other people had experience with for a long time, like I'm learning as an adult.
Yeah.
And other things that maybe they didn't have experience at a long time, like they're learning as an adult. And so it's kind of like a mixed matchy thing where that
Mhm.
totally bleeds into how you have communication, how you react in an argument, how you express yourself, how your sexual interaction is. Like all of these things bleed into it and are so important because me as a person in a relationship, yes, I am very free. Yes, I have like my own thing and I can do my own stuff. But yes, I do need a lot of attention, right? Because that's what I'm used to. Yes,
Mhm.
I do need a lot of love and care because yes, that's what I'm used to. Yes, I do need to like externalize like maybe I'm not that great at sharing certain stuff in my personal space, or maybe I'm not as open with my problems because I never had the option to not be. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like de-learning, unlearning these things and learning like new skills and being more vulnerable, more open, more
Yeah.
XYZ. And like, I don't know how it is with you because you've been in a relationship for so long. Like, how have that impacted like your sexual life or your relationships in the past?
I definitely feel the same as like about that as you do with
Right?
that. Like I always turned to myself. Like for a long time, even as a kid, I was like going home, no one was there, like latchkey kid, totally my life. Like
Yeah.
hanging out by myself, playing. Like I I had like two imaginary friends growing up when I was little, and one of them was nice and the other one was not nice. And it was like those were the like it was myself. I was like literally trying to figure out between myself like what I felt about things, and I think that that is something that I had to unlearn. Like there's that empathy and like connecting with people and like interpersonal skills because there was no sibling to deal with. Like there it was just my
Mhm.
parents, and my parents are like my only
Adult.
real, yeah,
Yeah.
and my only real like like intimate view of a relationship, because even though I like spent time at other people's houses as a kid, I only caught glimpses of like what that family life was like. So it wasn't until I like got into a relationship that was much more long term and I was able to like see how a different family operates or like see how he relates with his sister and like those kinds of things. And as a kid, I always wanted a brother. Like I always wanted that older brother or like sibling to have that like there's always it seems in like really good sibling relationships that like friendship is so deep that it's like I have only felt that with like my closest friends or like with
Hmm.
my partner. That like
And that takes
depth.
time. That takes
Yeah.
time and experience. And like, that's not just like, oh yeah, we were born together.
Exactly. Yeah. And that has translated into like our relationship, our sexual life, like understanding that like the way that he sees things is probably different than the way that I see things because of that upbringing. And for sure the sharing thing has come up. Like that has been something that I've had to work on and understand and like while our relationship is like in flux and we're having conversations about like what works for us and what doesn't, it allows us to like explore that and kind of figure out like, oh, if I have a threesome with somebody, like what's that like when it's a female versus a male and like what is the dynamic there and like how am I feeling with another female around or like sharing my partner versus how does my partner feel about sharing me? And it's such
Hmm.
an interesting, like, I don't know, it's interesting to work through because it's then like I'm journaling about it and trying to like figure out how I feel and get to the bottom of the feelings because I'm like my own investigative reporter.